Hello and welcome. Come meet me on your mat for a yoga practice to open up your hips and your hamstrings. So we're going to start in a child's pose today. As you come to your mat, place knees, shins to the ground, big toes touch. Rock your bum towards your heels as you reach arms forward and you melt chest and heart to floor. So as you do come to your child's pose, and this might not feel comfortable initially, you can always place a pillow or a thick block between your bum and your heels, and that might alleviate any pressure in your bum, or your hips rather, or your spine or your knees. But child's pose is a great pose to start with as we begin to open hips and hamstrings, as it really helps widen the hips and decompress the lower spine. It's also really calming and soothing. So find your breath as you ground down into the gravitational pull of the earth. And if your forehead is meeting the mat, I really like to give my head a gentle rock from side to side. Making sure the shoulders are away from the ears. And then I really like this pose too. Again, find the breath as you really get the feedback of breath to body. Breathing your belly into your thighs. Listening to sound of your breath against the floor. Feeling the air passing on the tip of your nostrils. And then just starting with a gentle side stretch, walking the hands over to the right-hand side of your mat. You'll elongate left body, forehead to floor, stretching left fingertips maybe a little bit longer out to the direction that they're facing. And then you really get this sensation of finding your breath all the way from the left armpit down into the left hip. Switching sides. On your inhale, you move through center. On your exhale, you sink into the side stretch over to the left-hand side of your mat. Right fingertips reach out a little bit further. Long breaths underneath the right armpit, down into your right hip. Calming, soothing breaths, becoming aware of the breath itself, the sensation in your body. And then walking the fingertips forward, straight out in front of you. Forehead to mat, a full breath in right here. A long breath out. And then take your inhale to meet in tabletop position, all fours, hands and knees. So to open up our hips, our spine must also be warm. So we'll move through some cat-cows to do so. Finding your inhale, belly drops to floor, chin lifts to sky. Exhale, back rounds, tailbone tucks, shoulders hunch in. Again, inhale, arch your back, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. Continue on your own pace for a few more cycles. Breath connected to movement and is the guiding force of the movement. So let the breath come first. And I like to find a really nice pause between each cycle. Moving hips, moving spine, moving shoulders, moving neck. It's all connected. Wonderful. Come back to a neutral spine with your next inhale. Downward facing dog, toes tuck and knees lift away from your mat. Take a bit of movement as you come into your downward dog. Shift from side to side, bend one knee and then the other. Beautiful. And once you come to stillness, keep a soft bend into your knees. Relax the shoulders, relax the heels down to the mat. And then with your inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And then with your exhale, bend your right knee and roll your right hip open as you come towards a fire hydrant pose. Opening your right hip, but keeping shoulders square. Inhale back to a three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb tip between your hands at the top. Lower your back knee to the floor, and then start with your hands on your front thighs. You lift your chest up, lift your arms up, or just your chest. Hands stay on your thighs. So in this low lunge today, we're going to really round our backs, and you're really going to scoop your hips underneath you. So to do so, you might actually find yourself sliding back a little bit, and that's perfect. You really want to squeeze your left bum muscle as you tuck your hips underneath you and you draw chin to chest, and it's okay to really round your back here. Good, and then find the opposite of that. Sink the hips forward, open the chest, let's lift your arms up and overhead now, finding really nice space for the spine, the chest. Sinking hips to floor as you keep this activation of squaring your hips off. You'll take one more breath in, and then you'll exhale both hands down to the mat. You're going to straighten your front leg. A half splits, so your right toes are reaching up to the sky. Really nice dorsiflexion to the front foot. As you hinge from your hips and you bring your chest towards your front shin. Still finding a sense of length in your spine. Breath into your right hamstring. Back of the neck long. Breath still calm. Good, and then we'll come back to that low lunge. Rebend your right knee. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up, look up. And as you exhale, place both hands back down to the mat, frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, straighten your back leg. Three-legged dog, your right leg reaches back up to the sky, send it behind you. And then keeping your right leg lifted, you're going to come towards tabletop. So left knee is going to lower to the floor, and then you may need to just walk the hands right underneath your shoulders. Swing your right leg all the way out to the side in a kickstand shape. And then you're just going to rock your bum towards your left heel as your right toes turn up towards the sky. This becomes a really nice inner groin, inner thigh stretch. And you can take a child's pose shape in the upper body, so fingertips reach forward, belly over your left thigh. Now, it might not feel good to go as deep. You can always stay up a little bit higher, just rock back any amount, and elbows can be on the ground. That works perfectly. A few more breaths wherever you may be. And then back to tabletop kickstand position. So you walk back forward, shoulders above wrists. Your right leg is still extending out to the side. We're coming to a half froggy shape. So again, go to your own degree, but you start to heel toe your right leg out long to the side, and you will find a really good sweet spot to rest in. Again, opening the inner groins. You may stay up on your hands if this is quite a lot of sensation for you. If it feels okay, you can always lower onto elbows as well. But again, you don't have to go so deep. If it's flaring up your nervous system, just take it a step back. Beautiful. Coming back onto your hands for your inhale. Slowly heel toe your right foot back in towards that kickstand tabletop position. Keep your right leg extended out. You're going to walk the hands in, and then you're going to lift your chest up. So now shoulders are stacked above your hips. For a gate pose, you reach your right arm down your right leg, and your left arm extends up and over your head into the side body stretch. Keep guiding your hips forward. You might squeeze your bum underneath you. And then you're going to find both of your arms reaching down your right leg. So you're going to turn your nose, your chest down to the floor. You're going to reach your arms long towards your right ankle. And then you're going to guide your nose towards your right knee any amount. You can keep your hands on your right extended leg, or you can place both hands on the floor. It doesn't matter so much. Good. Come back to your kickstand tabletop position. Just walk the hands back forward. Now with your right leg, you're going to lift your right leg up, and then you're going to take your right leg up, over, and around your left. So it becomes this cross-legged tabletop position now. Kick your heels out wide, your left leg is in front, and then just start to make some circles with your hips. Just kind of like you're stirring the pot with your hips. Starting clockwise. Maybe noticing anything that's sticky along the way. And then switching directions counterclockwise. Yeah, just really getting into those outer hips, letting it be really fluid. One more, and then coming back to stillness. Keep the crisscross of your legs, but close the gap between both of your heels. Tuck your toes under, and then come to a cross-legged downward dog. So lift your knees away from the mat, send your hips back and up. Keep your knees really bent to accommodate for the sensation in the legs. And then your right kneecap just kind of tucks in nicely behind your left kneecap. You can straighten your legs any amount, whatever feels good, but really thinking of tilting the sit bones up towards the sky. Good. Take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, keep the crossed legs, lower both knees down to the mat. You're going to uncross your right leg from your left. Narrow-kneed child's pose. Just rock your bum to your heels. Reach the fingertips forward, belly over thighs. Take your inhale. Round your way forward to an upward-facing dog. Strengthen your legs as you float the hips from the floor and the heart pulls forward. Downward-facing dog. Hips guide back and up. Close your eyes for a moment. Does anything feel different from left to right side? And then we'll try on the left side. So send your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your left knee and roll your left hip open, heel to bum. Shoulders remain square, but you open your left hip as you send your left knee up to the ceiling. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your left thumb tip between your hands. Back knee lowers to floor. Slowly you lift your chest as you bring both of your hands to your front thigh. So again, we're rounding into this shape, so it might be a little bit different from what you're used to. You might slide back in order to really scoop your bum underneath you and really squeeze your right bum muscle. That will create more sensation into your right hip flexor that we're aiming to open. Back is round, chin draws to chest. Pressing hands to front thigh, really activating this. Good, and then we'll find the complete opposite. So really sink your hips forward. Lift your chest up and then reach your arms up as you look up. You can even add a little bit of a back bend into this shape. Your hips remain square. You stay grounded through the front foot, but you're opening your right hip this time versus closing it. And then you exhale, both hands meet the mat. Half splits, straighten your left leg, pull your left toes up towards the sky, left toes towards your nose, chest to front shin. Back of the neck long. You pause just to breathe here. You can keep your front knee bent any amount. It doesn't need to be fully straight. Your body tells you where to pause, where to linger, where to draw more attention towards. And this practice helps us to listen and tune into that. Really nice. Back to our low lunge. Rebend your left knee. Inhale, pick up your chest, arms reach up. And then exhale, place both hands down to your mat. Back toes tuck under, back knee lifts. Three-legged dog. You bring your left leg up and back to the sky. Really nice. Come towards tabletop position. Bend your right knee. Walk the hands in and place your right knee to the floor. Now swing your left leg all the way out to the side. I'm going to switch directions. But your left foot is going to be sent out like a kickstand. So your left ankle is in line with your left hip. We're going to start by just rocking your bum towards your right heel. Turn your left toes up to the sky as you do so. So you find the inner thigh spiraling upwards. It becomes a child's pose shape in the upper body. So draping chest, heart forward, arms reach forward. And again, checking in. It might not feel so good to rock all the way back with your bum on your heel. You might stay up with elbows on the ground, and that's perfect. Keeping the opening of the inner thigh and activation out through the left big toe and heel. And then your next breath in will guide you back towards kickstand tabletop position into your half froggy. So heel toe your left foot out any amount. Go to your own degree. When you find that sweet spot, you'll stay in your half froggy either with hands on the ground, keeping chest lifted, or if it feels good, elbows also lower to the floor. But we are looking for a nice line of right knee to right hip to left ankle. So it becomes one line. Your bum is not rocking backwards, your bum is not rocking forwards, but you're finding center. Let the neck go. Maybe it's nice to even close your eyes, drawing your attention and awareness inward. Giving the body time and space to open up, especially the hips. Beautiful. If you were on your elbows, you slowly lift back up onto your hands. And gently, you heel toe your left foot back in. So your right knee your right hip rather comes on top of your right knee. Towards gate pose, you're gonna walk the hands in, lift your chest up, shoulders are above your hips now. Your left arm reaches down your left leg, and your right arm circles up and over your head. Now notice if you're sticking your bum out and then bring your bum, your hips forward so you can actually find more length from this right side body down into the right hip. Wanting to open up the side body and the trunk just as much as the hips because it's all connected. Beautiful. We're going to tilt nose and chest down our left extended leg. So both arms reach towards your left ankle as you hinge from your hips and you guide your nose towards your left shin. Again, you might hold your left ankle or you might place both hands down onto the floor. It doesn't matter so much. Beautiful. Towards kickstand tabletop we go. You walk the hands back towards underneath your shoulders. And then we come to that crisscross tabletop. So your left leg lifts up. You cross your left leg up, over, and around your right leg. Shimmy your knees back to the middle of your mat. Kick your heels out wide, and then just start to explore this with some circles, starting clockwise. Letting the hips be really loose, really fluid, taking your side body and your shoulders into it. And then switching that direction. Just really making big, wide circles. Hips jut out to the side, shoulders move the opposite way the hips move. Yes, one more. Come back to center. Keep the crisscross of your legs. Close the gap of your heels together. Tuck your toes under. And then slowly lift your knees away from the mat. Come to a crisscross downward facing dog. Your right knee is in front. Both knees are bent quite a lot so that the kneecap of your left knee can just fit into the back of your right knee. And then the sit bones widen, the hips widen, heels heavy to the floor. Your next breath out lowers both knees to the mat, crisscross tabletop. You uncross your left leg from your right, knees are side by side. Take a narrow-kneed child's pose, rock bum to heels, forehead to floor. And then inhale, upward facing dog, round your way forward, lift your knees, strengthen your legs, open your chest. Downward facing dog, hips move up and back. One more shape, moving into a pigeon pose, looking forward. Your right knee comes to your right wrist as shin drops to the floor. Left leg is extended long back behind you. Now keep your chest lifted for me just for these first few breaths, just to find where center is in the hips. I like to give my hips a little jostle from side to side. If there's any pain or discomfort in your right knee joint, use a prop underneath your right hip. A stack of pillows works great. You can also tuck your left heel closer in towards you to reduce the amount you're pressing your heel up and out. Good, now once you find that sweet spot of center, then drape yourself forward, bring your elbows down. Maybe stack the hands and rest the forehead on stacked hands. And then notice if there is any resistance or tension as you land in this shape. Scan your body. Are you gripping through the hips? Are you tightening through your shoulders? Are you clenching your jaw? What can you release and let go? One more long breath out. Slowly lifting head and chest back up. If you had something underneath your right hip, please remove that. You're going to sit your weight onto your right hip, reach behind you, and help your left leg come forward. Now your left leg is going to cross over your right leg, and your left kneecap is up at the sky. Bring your left hand behind you. Inhale, right hand reaches up. Exhale, twist left. Your right elbow hooks over your left knee. You rotate around yourself and your gaze looks past the left shoulder. And if it doesn't quite work to have the elbow hooked over the thigh, wrap your arm in front of your shin and bring your knee closer to your chest. That works perfectly. Your breath in creates length. And your breath out twists you and softens you further, twisting around yourself to get a new perspective. Wonderful. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, unwind your twist. Uncross your left ankle from your thigh and extend your left leg long as you bring the sole of your right foot to your inner left thigh. Janu Shirshasana, find length on your breath in. Hinge from your hips for your breath out. Reach forward with your hands towards your left ankle, your shin. Maybe you catch a hold of your foot. String of your heart pulls forward. Heart to shin. Back of the neck long. Breathing into the left hamstring. The outer hips. And I even feel this in my lower spine. One more inhale. And a softer exhale. Your next breath in crawls the hands back in, lifting head and chest up. Switching to the next side, moving through a downward facing dog. So you can cross your ankles, roll over your shins, tuck your toes under, and then lift your knees away from the mat. And then again, take a moment between the sides. Does anything feel differently? Can you notice any difference between left and right side? One is not right or wrong. But then we explore the left side by bringing your left knee forward to your left wrist, shin to floor, and your right leg nice and long back behind you. Again, stay with your chest lifted for now, please. Give your hips a good jostle from left to right. Notice where center is, and if you need to make any adjustments for the comfort of your left knee joint, whether that's placing a block underneath your left hip or bringing your left heel closer towards your pubic bone. Once you've found that nice rock, give your heart and chest a big breath in. And then exhale, melt yourself down to the floor. Elbows connect to the mat. Stack the hands if you wish and place your forehead down on something solid. Release any tension from the shoulders, the jaw, the hips, the belly. Let yourself drop into the shape. And if you're finding you're unable to do so, try backing off and coming back in a more easeful way. You don't have to go so deep. And a final breath in with a nice long breath out. Finding inhale to slowly lift chest, walk the hands back in. If you had something under your left hip, remove that so you can sit your weight over to the left side and reach behind you to bring your right leg forward to cross your right leg over your left. Both bum cheeks are down onto the floor, so ground through that. Right hand is behind you, left hand reaches up, inhale. Twist to your right, exhale, hooking your left elbow over your right thigh, and then softening your belly to twist all the way around. Gaze looks past the right shoulder or down to the floor. Again, if it's too deep to have the elbow hooked, wrap your arm in front of your shin and then use that to bring your knee closer to your chest. Again, really grounding through both bum cheeks down to the floor. We don't want one bum lifting. Breathe in for length. Breathe out to twist and soften. And then inhale, you'll look forward. Exhale, you'll unwind. As you uncross your right leg from your left, extend your right leg forward and bring the sole of your left foot to your inner right thigh for Janu Shirshasana. Your inhale finds length. Your exhale brings you forward, reaching hands for right ankle or foot. Wherever your hands end up is perfect. And then string of your heart pulls towards your front big toe. Back of your neck is long. Nose to front knee. Big expansive breaths to your right hamstring, your outer hips, perhaps even the lower lumbar spine. I feel this even up through my left side of my spine. So I find this is really just a full experience in my body. See if you can soften into your own shape. Listen to the sound of your breath. And then with your inhale, hands to mat in order to crawl the hands back in and lift head and chest up. Just one neutralizing shape. Bring both feet down to the floor. Wrap your arms in front of your shins and squeeze yourself really close as you hug yourself in. Place both hands behind your back. Feet hip distance apart, and then a windshield wipe of your legs just from side to side, just to flush all of that out. You can close your eyes. So nice. And then after you complete that last side, just return back to center. Cross your legs. And then place your hands at heart center, at your chest, or you can have the hands in any other valuable shape for you. And as always, as we take a grounding moment to start our practice, we take a grounding moment to close our practice, to find gratitude and appreciation for ourselves, our bodies. Namaste. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.